Yeah, we made it to the end. No, I respect you a lot for still being here. I hope, I'm trying, I will try to use my time and my slides to deliver the value that we deserve as we survived the whole day and you guys with that. So yeah, that's me. That's not me. That was the previous one. So the brief was quite straightforward. Come here, talk to us about what your company does in the context of how we manage and optimize Facebook presence. Kind of seems to be okay during a Facebook summit to talk about how to optimize Facebook presence. And I think the other part of the brief, which makes it interesting maybe to wrap the whole day with this, is that we've heard a lot of companies talking about data, of course, about positively engaging with audiences. We heard about companies talking about creating and distributing content, and then obviously the majority of what we heard today was about the also important amplification that can happen on Facebook, either through Facebook Exchange or through the ads directly to amplify with social ads. So I think what I'll try to do, using a lot of polished slides, very much like my colleagues earlier, coming from our corporate decks, I'll try to take you on a journey despite the slides, and we'll try hopefully to wrap it all together and see from start to end what it means. And before I do that, man staring at the horizon, just to tell you a bit more about Socialbakers, the company that I work for. So Socialbakers is the standard by how social media marketing is measured and optimized. I stand here and I can try to get my credibility up by just talking to you, or I can show you a few more slides where you'll see through our clients and our credibility in the market where we come from and why we're here doing that. So a few more slides on us to tell you more about why I'm entitled to talk about that topic that is optimizing Facebook. 2,700 customers, that's the big number right there. We've been in the business for 5 years. We were probably the first ones to start to create a database in order to understand and be able to benchmark performance on Facebook. We've actually heard it before. The performance on Facebook in the early days was all about measuring fans and fan growth and likes. And then we fast forward to nowadays, where it's a lot more important to engage positively on social channels at large, and obviously also on Facebook. And that's what we measure today, or what constitutes the majority of what we do today and the value that we deliver to our clients. We help them through data to benchmark their performance against everybody else. We've actually seen some of our data in a few presentations today being displayed as we are the reference by which social media success is measured by industry, by geography, and absolutely by our customers directly with their competitors. I'm actually, I'm Italian. I work for a Czech company, so Socialbakers is originally from Czech Republic. I'm Italian, but I live in London, and that's there that I manage the team that works in Europe. This is some of our more credentials. We're VC backed. The good news at the beginning of the year for us was a big chunk of money in our pocket to deliver even more solutions. These are currently the platforms that we cover, and analytics, and you'll hear me talking about analytics a lot because it's what constitutes our reason to be. Analytics created Socialbakers. Socialbakers created analytics. I don't know which came first, but it's definitely where the core of our success resides. And then we've built a platform suite around it to deliver more services that ideally, again, will allow us to and allow our customers to complete the social media workflow and deliver a full Facebook success. Recent good news, well, I just put it in there. Just last week we acquired a US company. You might have heard of it, Edge Rank Checker. Fantastic name. well, pairs up with our fantastic name, Socialbakers. I shouldn't really be talking about names. Well, yeah, we acquired them. That really gives us more an ability to penetrate even more into Facebook Insights, extracting data from Facebook Insights with our customers and combining that in a very holistic way that we then display to our customers. This is an eye test. Some of our customers right there. There's a lot, and actually more polished slides on who our customers are and what they say about us. It's agencies. We work a lot with telcos. We work with fashion and retail companies. We work a lot with FMCG. One thing that is in common to all these companies is they have large and complex social media setups. They typically operate multi-brand or multi-country, multi-language. So basically, they face complexity. And within that complexity, they take several steps to optimize their social media presence, and in this case on Facebook. So first step is to understand what's out there and where they sit in comparison, benchmarking themselves in the industry in which they operate, in the territories where they operate. Then they take a deep breath and they dig deeper into their own data and they understand even more, so what works and what doesn't work within their social media home. And on that, they build a strategy and they go out and they reach out both organically and then obviously what works best gets amplified through social media ads. Most of these companies also have another thing in common, which is they tend to be B2C, of course. That's where the majority of the investment, I think, comes from for social. And they tend to be emotional brands as well. So brands that want to connect with their customers on an emotional layer. And I think an emotional level. And I think that's where social probably delivers its best results. And let's now come on to the theme. And how do we actually optimize this social presence or Facebook presence? And I told you that we actually we have the largest database available that allows anyone actually. Most of it is for free. You can go to socialbakers.com now and run a couple of reports for free to see what are the most engaging brands in Ireland, what are the most viewed channels on YouTube in, I don't know, in Italy. You can actually run all that type of information. So before coming here, I took a look at some Irish stats and I focused on Facebook. So this post came up. Looking at May, and I believe that there's quite a few Irish people here, you are likely to have seen this post. And I'm actually using this post maybe to make a joke, but not so much a joke, about how do you manage and optimize your presence on Facebook. Let me actually put up the rest of the slide. So this is the most popular post on Irish pages in May 2014. Last month, if you were on Facebook in Ireland, you're likely to have seen it. And actually, you're possibly likely to have liked it. From a very naive perspective, we can actually say, oh, yet another dog, cute dog, and quite a few elements that make it success or the success of a post. Some of them are there. So we said a cute dog, a big picture. There's two call to actions actually in this post. And again, I don't know this particular page, and I actually don't know, but I can estimate quite safely that they probably boosted. They probably put some money behind this ad to make it as viral and to make its success reach 115,000 interactions with a huge amount of likes, of course, and comments that were probably answering that question. So I'm using this example to maybe tell you, yes, it looks like it's simple. If you have dogs, and you can actually use them because you are about dogs, and this is for Dublin SPCA. Which is apparently a dog spa here in Dublin. So you should use them, and they are successful. But it's not as simple as that. Even for them, I'm speculating here that there was some big, interesting data arguments before actually doing this. But anyway, let's actually look into the social media workflow. And I'll be very quick here because it's a bunch of screenshots. And I think we all want to focus on what it means for us. And then we want to have a beer later maybe. The way we see it is analytics, so data. We've heard it today. If you're not convinced by now that you have to use data in order to create your social media strategy and to manage the execution of your social media strategy, then you probably didn't pay attention. You shouldn't be here, maybe. So analytics at the core of it, and then publish content and manage conversation as the natural management of your social media home. And then through that understanding that comes from there and the data that are underlying there, then promote and amplify through social media ads. So let's start with analytics. Again, very polished slides here. This is what we do for a living, and this is what determines us as Socialbakers. We help companies understand and truly dig deep into their own data and then benchmark that against their competitors. One of the simple value and one of the immediate value that we deliver to our customers is that we help them start defining what success means. Because most of the time, our clients look at their own social media home without looking at the context in which they operate, without looking at their direct competitors in the territory, without looking at aspirational brands that are really doing and delivering great results elsewhere. So we help them to put it all together, create interesting dashboards that deliver an immediate value. We then help them understand within that what is working and what is not working for them and for their competitors. In terms of posts, we help them to benchmark on KPIs, and they choose the KPIs and they can look at all sorts of KPIs. We help them, of course, to try to add a layer of qualitative overview there. So we help them gather together from their competitive set or their territory, their industry, which are the posts that actually perform better. So they can have them there with their own statistics, and then in almost real time, create the next post and execute better because they know what's working and what's not working. We also help them deliver, and maybe you are in this room, you're a marketer and you need to deliver on a weekly basis a report because someone knocks on your door and says, how are we doing in social? And you don't necessarily have an immediate answer for them. Well, we've tried to create quite a complete answer there in one click. So you go on and you create an executive report that can be immediately digested at the highest level within the company. And you've heard it before today, and then we help companies measure how they're performing and to benchmark that in social customer care. This is one of the evolutions of social media. As I said, we've heard a lot today about that. And companies are dedicating more and more resources to taking care of the conversations that happen within their social media home and in general, within the social space. They're creating teams to take care of that. So what we've done, we've created a way to benchmark companies against each other in terms of how well or how badly they're responding to the demands that come through social media channels into their social media home. We deliver, if you've heard the term socially devoted award, we deliver that on a quarterly basis to the companies by territory and by industry that seem to operate better, that seem to respond faster and better, and with a quality indicator there, to the questions that arrive to them on social media channels. We also help them identify influencers within their social media home and outside of their social media home into their competitors' social media homes. All this data is public, so we help them to surface who are those customers that are engaging the most on their competitor's page. Is there anything that they can do with that data? Maybe just even understanding what type of engagement and at what level of engagement their competitors are getting engagement from consumer really helps them shape and maybe reshape their social media strategy. This is a nice bridge into the second part of what we think is, very much in a holistic way, the way you should approach managing Facebook and optimizing a Facebook page. So once you've understood and you have been able to define what success looks like in terms of whatever KPI you can set out there, from the markets in which you operate and the size of the engagement that you reach there, to social devotion in terms of how well or how badly you're responding to social customer care on social channels, well, you can take that and then take action. And take action in the form of creating and publishing content and then managing the conversations that happen within your social media home, in this case on Facebook, of course. More polished slides and a few more screenshots from our service. This is the first step for anybody. What we've created in order to manage content and conversation is a collaborative software environment where the whole company connects to, and through that they can actually manage within the boundaries that are predefined for them. So with just view and edit, and publish rights for different layers of the company and different involvement from people in the company, create a collaborative way to address creation and distribution of content, and obviously also the response to social media care. This is where everything flows in. So there are all the obvious triggers that you would want to have there, from alerts to the ability to do all sort of interaction internally to the company within the collaborative environment that you've created, before obviously responding and addressing the needs and reacting to that. The first column, interestingly, is typically dedicated to keeping an eye in real time to the competition. So knowing and understanding what's been published in real time and what is the performance of what's been published by competitors, so that, again, that might actually inform the next step and the next post that you decide to put out there. Everything is in a calendar, so you can actually have a much broader view into what happened in the past and what performance was associated with it, and then look into the future, what is actually scheduled to go out in the future. And then obviously we are about data, so real-time data about the performance of your social media home, of your social media indicators, but then within that also team reports. So also understanding of the people that are dedicated to the creation and the distribution of the content, but also the people that are dedicated to responding to questions that are coming in. What is happening within that team? Who is best performing? What are the performance indicators that are associated with the team that needs to take care of it? So I've been going very fast because I think most of what is on here is common sense, is what you would expect, and a lot of it is probably me just pitching to you my Socialbakers. But I think we are trying to paint the picture of start with data, create a strategy, execute on the strategy, and now we're at the stage where you know exactly what is working within your community. You know exactly, you've tested it because you have the data in real time of how people are reacting to what you're saying, and how then your capability is to manage that type of conversation. Now you're ready to put your money where your mouth is and really leverage to the full extent what Facebook is providing us as advertisers and marketers, which is a scale that is unprecedented. We've heard it before, and I don't want to bore you again with how effective it is. And I think the added piece of the message that I'm delivering to you, and maybe there's a bit of value in there, is that what we see and what we strongly advise is to pass by the community, and understanding what works within the community is the best way to inform the expected performance of your social media ads. So before spending ads money, test it within the community, and that's what the solution is designed to do. You've seen a lot of these. I think the message, other than the screenshot, is about understanding your audience, understanding what works within your audience, and being able to automatically trigger investments in social ads that amplify your best performing stories, so they become your best ads. And last but not least, just to close the loop on dogs, When I looked at the stats for Ireland, as I told you, I was looking at Irish pages, the best performing Irish pages from an interactions point of view. And the second most popular post was another dog, interestingly enough. And again, a cute dog staring, asking and a call to action within it, which are the good old things that work on social. But here again, I'm speculating that these guys, they are actually a lot more clever than we think they are. And doing this thing and doing it right is actually more difficult than just putting a dog there and a quick call to action. I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of data crunching happening behind the scene here, and there's social ads, media spend to make it, in this case, 66,000 interactions for this. Just to give you a sense, the third most popular post was from IKEA. I don't actually have it here. IKEA Ireland, and it was a competition. So it's safe to assume that for a dog like this, as cute as he is, to overtake IKEA, there is some science behind it. It's not all cute dogs staring at the camera. And with that, I have a few key takeaways for you from what we said here, maybe to wrap up the whole session here. So build your strategy on solid foundations. You've heard it today. That's it. No more talking about data, but that's important, right? And you now know about it. I think the key element within that is understanding your audience, yes, but your market, your industry, your geography is as important. And then with that, keep iterating. Use real-time data to change. You have real-time data coming from your community. Use that to optimize, and use also the data and the information that is available about your competition to also understand and try to outperform them. Achieve scale. We've heard it before today. Unprecedented scale. So you have to start leveraging the most and making the most of Facebook ads to target, optimize, and then scale the best stories. And last but not least, know what your success is and how to measure it. And make sure that you always do so in the context of competitors, industry, geography, and verticals, because that is the only way in which you will know and you'll be able to actually truly celebrate your success. And with that, I thank you very much. If you have any questions for me. Thank you.